The start date, we'll keep the start date here 12/19 to 1/15, so we have the range that we can pick up this information from. And so notice that if there's detail from prior to this date, depending on how the statement is formatted, we might not have as much detail prior to that date, right? Is going to be, but it might be, so we might just have the balance prior to that date and then possibly detail going forward, depending on the type of statement that we're creating. So then we can check off all of the ones. Now, if we're picking all of the open items, they're all going to be checked off. We can see that we have the email addresses here. If we're going to send these out by email, then of course we're going to need the email addresses. We're going to have the balances that are due on the right-hand side. Note that if we're looking at all open invoices, the total balance that is due to us, $5,281.52, should match what's on the balance sheet. So on the balance sheet, you can see in accounts receivable, $5,281.52. Why? Because the accounts receivable are the invoices. That's what increases accounts receivable, which have not yet been paid. Therefore, they haven't gone back down yet. So let's go to the first tab. So that's going to be it. We can cancel it. We can print or preview it. So let's go with the print preview and check them out. So it takes a little bit of time for them to generate. So here we have Craig's Design Landscaping, It's going to be our statement. So, and it's going to be summarizing the invoice. Here's who it's going to. We have the list of forms that are going to be going out. So the statement number, statement date, total amount due. It gives us a nice summary up top. And notice the first item here, 12/18/24, is the balance forward. What does that mean? Why is that there? Because when we set that first starting date, this is the balance forward. It's not giving us the detail prior to that date. If you want like this summary detail prior to that date, then you can set that beginning date further back in time, and it might give you like the summary detail down here, right? But it's going to start with that balance forward, and then it gives us the stuff that happened within the date range, 12/21, the invoice number. Notice that this doesn't possibly give us all the information on the invoice, although it gives us a little summary, front yard, hedges and sidewalks and so forth. But if it was a really long invoice, it's not going to give us all the detail. But it does give them the invoice number so they can say, hey, look, if you want to look at the invoice, we already sent it out before. Check it out. If you lost the invoice and you want more detail, we can send you the invoice again and you can check it out. This is just the summary. Notice we have a running balance on the right-hand side. So this 459 plus the 108, that's what's giving us the 567. And then on 12/22, there was a payment that is decreasing the running balance. We have a payment from that one. And then we've got another payment here of the 220, and that gives us the running balance that is still outstanding of the 239, and that's what's summarized up top. Let's just take a look at another one. This one just has the balance forward. This one has the balance forward. A payment here brought the balance down to 0, but then there was another invoice that went on the books of 1036. That one is still outstanding. We haven't received a payment for that one yet. This one, we had a balance forward in the payment. This one, we had 0 balance forward. We had one invoice that went out in the current period. It's still outstanding. We haven't received a payment on that one yet. And this one just has the balance forward. Balance forward, they paid $300, but they still owe us the $450 of that one, and so on and so forth. So that's what they would look like. And like I say, if they want more detail about this invoice, they have it. We sent it before and can then resend the invoice if we get in communication with them. All right, so then we can print them or we can close them. If we want to actually physically mail them out, then of course we can print them. In the digital age, oftentimes we're going to be basically emailing them. We can save them, we can save and send, we can save and close.